Welcome to the Multichain Nation. Today we have Jason, project lead, and David, tech lead of Strobe Finance. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Of course. Jason, tell us a little bit about yourself, about your experience
Okay,
here. hmm
um, a little bit of a personal intro then before crypto. I spent quite a few years in management roles in food manufacture, logistics and production and project management. Not not the most obvious landscape to sort of join with crypto. I get that, but actually there are quite a lot of transferable skills. So in the roles that I've done before, it's broadly been about managing projects, managing big teams, and managing significant budgets as well. So all those things that kind of align with crypto, really. Moving into crypto, I think I got into crypto in 2017, like so many other people, when Bitcoin kind of hit the mainstream media. I was a part-time Forex trader at the time, so it piqued my interest. Maybe it was going to be something to trade or something to invest in. And then I really quickly learned not to be exit liquidity at the end of a bull run. Along with most of the other newbies in 2017, I think we all got burnt in early 2018. So I went through my rite of passage, you might call it, invested in Bitcoin, got wrecked, but I got completely hooked as well. You know, the concept of blockchain, in particular, decentralized finance, of course. So since then, I've been full-time in crypto since 2021. I've led a number of projects, I've advised projects, I've done everything sort of from synthetic assets, did the NFT craze in 2021, and everything in between, and now having an awesome time at Strobe.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like people who are always in, like they say they came from some different background that's not crypto, but it's also no one had crypto in their background. It's new, you just come into
That's
it.
right, yeah.
You live in your current life and you see that all the problems are occurring and you're like, this isn't right. There's got to be a better way. You find crypto, do a little trading, understand the tech, and then you just go right into it and you kind of can't get out. So I love that you're here now and I appreciate that you're building. David, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm lead developer now at Strobe, and I'm even newer to the space than Jason. So I came in, I think, 2022. I've just got a traditional development background, and we were brought in as a consultancy firm for a DeFi project that wanted to basically sort out their development processes. So then that was my intro to the EVM. And then since then, it's been a whirlwind. The crypto space moves pretty fast.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up. And, you know, I feel like a lot of like being a traditional developer, and still the same like brain, same logic of if this happens, do this and create these functions, et cetera, et cetera. But the lingo, language, and the vibe of the community is probably harder to understand than the tech.
Yeah, and a lot more acronyms. There's a
Yeah.
lot of those.
You gotta
So
get used to them. Yeah, I can't keep up. I mean, it's next day, it's like another L2, another coin, another project's being released. So it's hard to stay on top of it, stay competitive, and then also just code when you just want to code. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for building
we,
too.
that's all right. I was introduced by a guy that's just madly into crypto, and I still to this day call it DeFi, and he hates me for it, and I
Ooh.
can't stop the habit now. And it's terrible.
And now you're on air, known as
Oh, it's there
the
now.
guy that says
Yeah.
Defi.
The Defi guy.
Ooh. But it's all right. It'll come through eventually. I mean, at least you don't call it like memes or memes or something like that. So you're not that far.
Maybe.
Well, appreciate you both for being here. And I know everyone's dying to know a little bit more about Strobe and Strobe Finance. So give us a little bit about, what your project is and what they do.
All right. So at first glance, really, Strobe is a fully decentralized money market native to XRPL, and that's the key bit. So we're providing yield via lending and borrowing, and later on we're going to bring vault strategies, which we can touch on a little bit later. I think the easy way for the audience to perhaps to understand is we're essentially providing for XRPL, what Aave provides for Ethereum, and the subsequent EVM chains. So I think most people in the space know Aave. That's kind of what we're aiming at, but we're doing that on the XRPL. The bigger picture for us, of course, is actually to be more of a foundational liquidity layer. So it's not quite as simple as just being a money market. With the XRPL DeFi space being so new, Strobe is looking to position itself as the kind of cornerstone of liquidity for that development going forward.
Okay. And I mean, this idea isn't new in itself. Like you said, Aave has been around for a long time. XRPL is relatively new, but I'm surprised no one's already picked that up. So how does this not exist already?
So it doesn't exist on XRPL because of the lack of smart contract functionality, right? So on the XRPL ledger, it's very, very difficult for anybody to build on it or build with it. But it's really important that people understand that this lack of programmability on XRPL, it was not an oversight, it was not poor design. It was fundamentally built that way to serve its primary purpose. Yeah. So back in 2012, when Ripple launched XRP Ledger, its purpose was to challenge the traditional banking system. So they were going to provide transactions which were decentralized, they're low cost, they could cross borders, and most importantly, they would be super secure. So anything that enabled other people to sort of come in and build on their code base was a security risk. And for the last, I don't know, what, 10, 13 years, Ripple's done an amazing job actually of capturing that market. So they are sat there, third biggest crypto in the world, 180 billion market cap. You almost never hear about hacks on XRPL. And it's because they have this system that is contained to do what they wanted it to do, right? So DeFi hasn't been there by design.
That makes sense. And it hasn't been there by design, but now at this point, the ecosystem seems to be, moving out from a contained system and into a more decentralized system where cross communication is happening, cross messaging is happening. There's a lot of different blockchains communicating with each other, different tokens going in different chains. It's a big web now, and whether it's Ethereum, XRP, XRPL, or Bitcoin, or whatever it may be, it's no longer one chain to rule them all. And I know Axelar is has a big role in helping, cross communication. Can you tell us a bit more how Axelar is integrated into Strobe and how that works with XRPL?
Yeah, should I take this?
Yep.
So for Strobe, I mean, at least it was important for us that the user never had to leave the XRPL system. So we wanted them to be able to stay in the ecosystem they knew. So we wanted them to use their wallets, come to our system, be able to use the smart contract functionality. So we use Axelar's GMP, General Message Passing, I think. I have to check that now. So we use that to send tokens at the same time as doing contract calls. So this means that from sitting on their XRPL wallet, they can now communicate with our EVM smart chains, smart contracts, sorry. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so Axelar just allows us to handle all this communication really simply. We basically just plug into their system, and the user's now communicating with us. So it was great.
Yeah, as a developer who's coming from a more traditional background, it must be relieving to have something that you can easily integrate with without having to get into the weeds of cryptography and blockchain tech and learning exactly how to make a cross-chain messaging system, or cross-chain protocol, or GMP. Like, you don't have to create that from scratch. It's really amazing times where you can look at XR, plug it into what you're creating in Strobe, and it works.
Yeah, I mean, it's just instantly. So we've gone from one EVM, and now we can just see, I think it's 80, is it, that you're on now?
Yeah. It's just growing.
Yeah. So I mean, we're not utilizing them at the moment, but having that door open was a nice option.
And then in a sense for XRPL, like how is that working with you today, like working with XRPL, working with Axelar, and the opportunity that you have in place? I kind of want to know your sequence of events in creating Strobe, working with XRPL, and then adding on Axelar. this opportunity seems huge. So I want to know that roadmap and how you envision how big this opportunity can be.
Okay. So people probably don't realize that actually the Strobe team were intending to try and build a money market on XRPL in early 2024 before even the idea of the EVM sidechain was made public. So we had already spotted the opportunity in the fact that there is no real DeFi, no real TVL on XRPL, and we were going to attempt to build it on their native system, start to finish. We actually secured a grant from Ripple to do this, and we were in the planning stages. Now, just as we were kind of in those planning stages in the early part of development, Ripple made the announcement about the EVM sidechain, and in a meeting with Ripple, we actually pivoted at their request to utilize the EVM sidechain as part of Strobe's DeFi journey. So it was a partnership right from the start where we said, okay, actually it's a lot easier for us to build this with Axelar in the middle. We can build a more sort of traditional style, again, Aave style money market. We can utilize the bridge in the middle. The whole process is actually simplified quite a bit for us at this point, and we can get to market probably much quicker.
And then as a user, typically for money markets and what people already know on Aave is, borrowing and lending crypto and kind of finding different ways to use their finances to, generate yield. What offers and services does Strobe offer?
So currently we have a fairly basic money market. So imagine a use case might be that you are a firm believer in XRP. You believe in the future of it. You think the price is going to rise. So you've piled all of your wealth into XRP and you have a great XRP bag, but you actually have real life costs and other things that happen and you need some funds to access for those things. So if you don't want to be selling your assets, you want to keep the upside potential, you could come to Strobe Finance, you could deposit your XRP into our protocol, and then you could use that as collateral to borrow against it. So in this scenario, you could come along, put your XRP in, borrow a stable coin, off-ramp your stable coin into fiat, and carry on with your sort of normal life. So you use that as an opportunity to leverage your bag, keep your upside potential, and not have to sell your assets. That's just one example. That's a typical kind of money market example. In the future, we are looking to develop vaults as a secondary strategy for the money market. So one of the key things with the money market is you have to balance supply and demand, right? So if there is too much supply, then the APY is not great. Mm-hmm. If there's too much demand, the demand APY could be, these things need to balance each other. It's more difficult, we're finding at the moment, to bring borrowing demand to the protocol. So you may find that the APY for depositing XRP is fairly low. So what we're looking to do is provide an alternative strategy. And again, utilizing Axelar in exactly the same way and keeping our users native to XRPL, the strategy would be the user comes along to our protocol, they can deposit into a vault. We would have a strategy in the background that allowed that funding to bridge across Axelar into EVM, and then we would automatically allocate it to other yield-bearing protocols within the AT-wide EVM system for them. So TLDR, user can come into the protocol, they can look at the money market, see how it's balanced at the moment. Is the deposit APY good? Is it what they want? Or are they looking to borrow? And if it's not, then the alternative route would be the vault that we provide for a stable and steady income.
So as a user, could I technically have a stable coin on the Ethereum network and then join Strobe to, say, take advantage of a yield that I find, favorable, lucrative?
Yeah, absolutely. So even though we are focused on the XRPL ecosystem, and that's where our point of entry is. So anyone that deposits into Strobe directly is coming from XRPL. There is a route where you can go from EVM into XRPL and into Strobe. We use a router called Squid, and all of that is fully documented on our website.
Amazing. Yeah, I feel like there's a subset of evangelists who just love their chain, and there's another subset of people who just don't care, and wherever makes me the money that's where I'm gonna go. And And early projects like yours, it seems attractive to both because there's that, uh, you know, support for XRPL and being part of that native group and working to encourage and build that chain. But then there's also that group that says, oh, new market, there should be a lot of activity there, and they want to get into it before it gets too big. But you want it to get too big, so it's gonna be a fun ride for you too. You know, in terms of development, so you have the back end development, but there's still a whole user experience side of things. Could you talk a little bit more about how you're making it just simple for people to use it?
I mean, I guess that's kind of our main philosophy when we went into it. I mean, the idea was that we wanted this to be anyone could come into the system and immediately, okay, I know how to do this. I know what to do. We didn't want too many buttons or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It just, yeah, I guess the design ethos was as straightforward as possible. I guess that also sticks into why we're sort of sticking with the XRPL wallets. I mean, there is an option that we talked about a long time ago that we could have it so that the EVM users as well could come in with the MetaMask, but it was going to make it quite a complicated journey for everyone. And so, yeah, I mean, we just stuck with that, tried to keep it simple. And it may be that, you know, in the future we pivot, but for now, I think we're quite happy with the decisions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I checked out your website. It seems really clean and easy to follow along and read. So appreciate that structure and keeping it modern. I feel like it can easily become a scary place as a new user who's trying to put stablecoins somewhere that they just don't really understand. There's like delicate balance of being technical and also being super simple.
I love our front end guy. He's a magician. I swear, everything he produces, I just go into the application. I'm like, oh wow, I love this.
I didn't even know I wanted it, but now I do.
Yeah, exactly. I think my favorite feature is in the top left. You just see the money numbers go up, so it's like a counter that just keeps. It's such a simple thing, and
you don't have to refresh the screen, right? It does it for you.
Yeah.
People just want to see the number go up.
Well, I do like that too.
that is true.
It's nice.
Any number, it doesn't even have to be a dollar value. It could just be any number that goes up is nice.
It can go down though. That's sad.
Exactly. So Strobe is, you know, in positioning themselves right now. So tell me more about the style and how you're managing your position in this opportunity.
How are we managing the position, the opportunity? So should we talk a little bit about the size of the opportunity and why we kind of decided that there was an opportunity for us there in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
So if we look at Ethereum, for example, so Ethereum has a market cap of around 450 billion, and they have a TVL currently of around 83 billion. So it's about 18% of their market cap is locked in DeFi. For comparison, XRP has a market cap of around 180 billion as of today. So if XRP captured 18% of the opportunity for DeFi in a similar way to Ethereum, then the opportunity is around $30 billion. So this is hugely significant. If you take that down another level, Aave is responsible on its own for around a third, just over a third of the TVL captured by Ethereum. If we were to get 1/3 of that opportunity, so that's $10 billion that we could potentially target within Strobe. So those are big numbers. Obviously, you know, that's what we're looking at. We want to be that cornerstone of liquidity that we talked about, and the way that we're going to get there is to start really bringing those big numbers into the protocol.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how you can simply lay it out like that too. Just seeing what a DeFi opportunity is in a blockchain. You can almost expect that in other blockchains in relative proportions. It just kind of like the human nature of the community. Just like you can say, not everyone is an investor or daytime investor, but there's a percentage of people who are investors in the globe. Then you can break that down to smaller segments of like stocks or bonds, and then break it down into crypto. And so there's a percentage that follows along, and you're just capturing what normal expectations of humans are. Is there's going to be a percentage that are
Yep.
going to be in this, and we're going to capture that.
You know what's funny though is that being in crypto and being in DeFi, I think it absolutely desensitizes everyone to the size of numbers.
Yep.
I mean, so
30 billion.
I just sat here chatting with you. Yeah, we want to try and capture 30 billion. If we can get 10 billion of that, in our protocol, that would be cool. That would be where we were targeting. $10 billion. I mean, it's a staggering amount.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous how crypto has done that to us. If only our bags were that much, but
Yours isn't? No?
no. Hopefully. So now that, I heard that you just launched recently, so you're live now. How did that go?
I think it went amazingly. I think David was sweating an awful lot.
Tech guys, yeah.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of nerves over there. I mean, from every point of view, it went really, really, really well. So from a technical point of view, nothing broke. From a security point of view, nothing went missing.
Nice.
And from a user adoption point of view, credit to our marketing guys and go-to-market strategy guys, we were able to attract, I mean, I'm looking at it on my other screen. I can't stop looking at it at the moment. 952,000 in TVL as of now,
Wow.
3 days post-launch. So, yeah,
That's
super
it,
happy.
952,000? Right.
Those little numbers are going up.
They are going up indeed, yeah.
Congratulations. That's a huge number. That's a huge number.
Thank you.
Thanks. We have to keep an eye on the utilization ratio and the APY. As I said, it's important to have balance at the moment. We've attracted a lot of supply, so our focus now will be on attracting the borrowing side as well. We have a points campaign that we're using to sort of facilitate that as well, where users that come into the system earn Strobe points. We've not defined publicly what they are yet, but I think people that have been on this journey before know where points lead. I don't want to say anything too specific.
Ooh, a lot of alpha here, guys. So, as a community member, how can someone get involved and really get into the Strobe ecosystem?
I mean, come and have a go, right? That's the way to go. Come to Strobe Finance. You don't have to be a big player. You don't have to be bringing large money. You can come in with a few bucks and just have a look at the system, see how it works, see how it can suit you. And then, of course, the usual route with the socials. We have an active community. We have Discord. We have Telegram. And of course, we have X as well for keeping up with what's going on.
Awesome. And everyone can
We
find
love
you.
feedback.
Love feedback.
Love feedback.
I feel like people, it's like you say that and then you get all those emails. You're like, oh no, it's just.
Love positive feedback.
There it is.
Constructive.
Constructive, positive feedback. There we go. So, I mean, people can find you at strobe.finance.
Yep.
And which handles should they find you on X and Discord?
So X is at Strobe Finance. The Telegram is t.me/Strobe Finance. The Discord one's a little bit more complicated, so I would recommend people come to the website for a link of that one.
Yes, yeah, they have encrypted links. Great. It's a pleasure speaking with both of you. It seems like you have everything going well for you. Launch is the hardest part. No issues. People are coming on board. Money is coming in. Money is staying where it should be staying. It's not leaving or evaporating in the air. You have great support with XRPL and you have great support with Axelar. And yeah, it's coming to fruition. Congratulations. And I look forward to seeing what comes next.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thanks for having us on, of course.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.